Welcome to the third week of the Rise, Kill, Eat devotional. So these have been posted on Sunday mornings, and based on what I've been seeing, you guys have been really enjoying these. So I definitely appreciate you guys checking these out. This is week 3 of the Rise, Kill, Eat devotionals, and today's devotional is titled Rise, Kill, and Eat. So sit back, enjoy this short episode here, the short devotional, and share it with a friend, because these Sunday morning devotionals are intended to encourage just about anybody. I want to encourage hunters, anglers, outdoorsmen, and really just anybody who wants to listen. I want this to be an encouragement for you, especially during these hard times. So be sure to share these with somebody today. So again, this is week number 3 of the Rise, Kill, Eat devotionals, and this one is entitled Rise, Kill, and Eat. The phrase rise, kill, and eat has become a staple amongst hunters and outdoorsmen of the faith and is even the inspiration of this podcast show, the Rise, Kill, Eat podcast. But what's interesting about this verse, when you look a little bit closer, is that it's not even about hunting at all. And when the voice of God tells Peter to get up, kill, and eat, it is simply for the purpose of gaining some energy to fulfill a responsibility for God's purpose. But this moment is the validation for something new within the kingdom of God, and Peter will need energy in order for him to fulfill this purpose. In this well-known verse, Peter is deep in prayer, and the Bible tells us that Peter falls into a trance due to feeling weary and very hungry, and then has a very interesting vision. So in this vision, a sheet is lowered down from the heavens that is filled up with all kinds of four-legged creatures. So these creatures are ones that the Lord tells Peter that are to be considered clean and to consume them in order to gain enough energy for him to continue on. Peter and the Lord go back and forth on this issue of what is to be considered clean and unclean. And eventually the Lord ends the discussion by saying that anything that he has created is to be considered clean. As we continue through the story in Acts chapter 10, we learn that the whole reason for this exchange is that God has reestablished the standards of fellowship between Jews and Gentiles, and that these two groups are accepted equally by God. Now, historically speaking, the Jews, the nation of Israel, were considered first to be God's people. And then much later on, in the New Testament, Gentiles were given the same access to salvation through Jesus and are to be treated accordingly. But what is special about this verse, especially for hunters and outdoorsmen, is that in a sense it is reassuring our permission from God that the pursuit of animals for the sake of sustenance and food has been granted. In fact, God is telling Peter to consume these animals in order for him to regain his energy. We know this to be true because of the promise that God established on the 6th day of the creation week. So this takes place in Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 through 28. But to have that fact reaffirmed and mentioned again in the New Testament is an incredible affirmation that God is our provider, not only for our physical needs, but more importantly, for our spiritual needs. So the next time that you hear the phrase rise, kill, and eat, you'll hear it a lot on this show. Remember that God has blessed us over and over through our pursuits, and that we are all made brothers and sisters through Christ. So Acts chapter 10, verses 9 through 16. Verse 9. About noon the following day, as they were on their journey and approaching the city, Peter went up to the roof to pray. He became hungry and wanted something to eat, and while the meal was being prepared, he fell into a trance. He saw heaven opened and something like a large sheet being let down to earth by its four corners. It contained all kinds of four-footed animals, as well as reptiles and birds. Then a voice said to him, "Get up, Peter, kill and eat." "Surely not, Lord," Peter replied. "I have never eaten anything impure or unclean." The voice spoke to him a second time. "Do not call anything impure that God has made clean." This happens 3 times, and immediately the sheet was taken back to heaven. Acts chapter 10, verses 34 through 35. Then Peter began to speak. "I now realize how true it is that God does not show favoritism, but accepts from every nation the one who fears him and does what is right." John 17:20 through 23. My prayer is not for them alone. I pray for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be in us, that the world may believe that you have sent me. I have given them the glory that you have gave me, that they may be one as we are one. I and them and you and me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. The world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me. Romans 10:9-10. If you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you profess your faith and are saved. So this concludes week 3 of our Rise Kill Eat devotionals. Be sure to check out next Sunday morning for week 4 of the Rise Kill Eat devotionals. These will go on for another couple weeks, and we will kind of see how things are going. If you guys want me to continue this, then reach out to me on social media, and I will go ahead and start planning some future ones. But this concludes week 3 of the Rise Kill Eat devotionals. Catch you guys next week. Thank you.